Right, this is Carol's garden, July 5th or 6th, 2011 update. Here's my nasturtiums that were volunteer, and I moved them into pots, and they're on the deck. The only attractive thing about my deck. And here is my deck perennial bed. There's Karen's hibiscus. Oh, did I just give you vertigo? Probably. And another volunteer nasturtium, and Donna's flowering geraniums, and pearly yarrow, and a little bit of bee balm. Looks like the geraniums and pearly yarrow are winning out. My sedum and my globe thistle. It's about to open. Okay, come around. Here's my perennial slash annual bed, and you can see the delphiniums are flowering. I love them. These are ones that trout and tuna have smushed. There's my zinnia, which is supposed to be like 3 feet tall, but for some reason they're midgets. I don't know why. They are. But they're flowering, and my foxgloves are kind of ending. And there's another zinnia over here. The mint, my lavender is flowering in a pink, and my mint is growing well. And I have a pot of sunflowers and more volunteer nasturtiums. And let's see. Here's the bleeding heart that is now no longer flowering, but still big. And some more almost flowering zinnias and pansies and hosta in the shade garden. Okay. Nice strawberries and raspberries. I'm coming closer to them. I got like 4 strawberries, but I didn't really eat them this year. Okay, the astilbes are coming up with these hostas, and you can no longer, well, you can see the primroses, but they're just big leaves now. And there's kind of too many ferns in here, so I have to do something about that. And I did get a little bit of my toad flower back, but not very much. So next year it probably won't be here. But that's what happens. If you don't fight well, then you don't come in. Now we're going to walk over to the vegetable garden, which I just spent the last 4 days working on because I wasn't riding, and so I spent all day, every day out here weeding and mulching. So here is the herb bed with the pig, and you can see I have a sunflower that's about to open. There's another perennial bed. You can see how tall the lovage has gotten. Mike's bees swarmed, so his hive is much smaller now, but he still has it. Okay, the peppers and eggplants are right here. The eggplants are just about to flower. My tomatoes, my corn is about it's a little bit above my knee, so it's about 2.5, maybe, yeah, about 2.5 feet tall. There's some volunteer dill and my onions and scallions. The cabbages all died because it's too wet in this part of the garden, so next year I'm going to take dirt and make a big mound here and plant them on the mound. My potatoes are flowering. There's my broccolis. My cucumbers are climbing up the fence. And behind that, peas. I just picked a whole bunch yesterday. My beans are back there. Garlic, some Brussels sprouts. There's my bush beans. They're just starting to flower. Or no, that's something else. It's a weed that's flowering. They haven't flowered yet, but they don't get a lot of sun, and it hasn't been exactly warm except for the last couple of weeks. And then you can see I have Swiss chard beets that I made a beet salad from yesterday for Mike. Carrots, parsnips, more beets, more carrots and parsnips. And now I'll take you to see the tomatoes, where I have green tomatoes. Unlike David, I am not going to have a red tomato in 2 days. but that's okay. They're passing bees. You can probably hear them maybe even. Don't sting me. I don't really like being that close, but it's brave. Okay, and we're walking down. Oh, you can see my summer squash too. It's very exciting. See, here you can see my kaboka, which is really big, and it's got a little kaboka there. Can you find the little summer squash? It's about underneath the leaf. I'm going to pick it, I think, pretty soon. Then I have a sweet dumpling that hasn't done anything, and a little kaboka. That one Trout tried to help plant, and it doesn't seem to have ever recovered from the spot where it is. And then here's my tomatoes. And you can see they're flowering, and they're about 3 feet tall. Some of them are in cages and some of them aren't. There's little green tomatoes on them, but no edible ones yet. One died, and there's my blueberry bush and the path to the blueberry bush. And that's it. Okay, that's the end of my July garden update.